Welcome to the purpose and mission of the Family Assessment On-Demand Training for West Virginia Birth to 3. This first training in the series will allow us to peer into the family assessment for the purpose of identifying why a family assessment is so vital to the birth to 3 process. By understanding the purpose of the family assessment, we can identify how the family assessment sets the stage for birth to 3 services, and then through the mission of West Virginia Birth to 3 and each of the key principles, we will introduce or possibly reinforce the research or the why behind the family assessment. As you can see here, the purpose of the family assessment is to learn the family's story so that we can identify meaningful goals that will encourage the family's participation, target their desires for their child, and set the stage for success in West Virginia Birth to 3. In learning the family's story, the family assessment helps us to understand the family's current situation, who the trusted people in the child's life are, the activities and routines that they engage in during their typical day, and their current strength and need area. Additionally, we must gather information in the family assessment to identify what's most meaningful to the family in order to create those meaningful IFSP goals that are both desirable and motivating for the family and child. This includes learning about the family's biggest concerns, worries, and challenges in the context of their daily life, how the child functions throughout their day, and ultimately what they'd like to have happen through West Virginia Birth to 3 services. The information gathered in the family assessment must speak to identifying these areas in order to know what's truly meaningful and how Birth to 3 can assist in creating outcomes to match the family's desires. When we conduct a family assessment in a way that includes the ability to show families just how important they are to the Birth to 3 process, we're creating an opportunity to set the stage for family participation in service delivery. We encourage the family's sharing of knowledge about their child, reinforcing just how vital their participation is, because ultimately they are the true experts of their child, and we will be supporting them in their goals. This includes our ability to encourage the family's willingness to share information about their child, inclusive of their strengths and needs, along with their preferences and interests. When we get to know how a family lives and functions, we target the most vital information that will ultimately lead to understanding the family, their everyday routines, and their desires for their child's participation. And finally, as a first impression to the family, an interim service coordinator provides an important bridge from the family to the West Virginia Birth to 3 system as a whole. When the stage is set according to unconditional acceptance of the family, their desires, and their child, we are fulfilling the purpose of the family assessment and truly setting the stage for a great working relationship with the family. Now that we've had the opportunity to explore the purpose of the family assessment, we'll turn towards the mission and key principles for West Virginia Birth to 3. The mission and key principles play an important role in highlighting the why behind the family assessment. As we can see from this slide and a few of the previous, the overall mission of West Virginia Birth to 3 is to partner with families and caregivers, to build upon their strengths by offering coordination, supports, and resources to enhance children's learning and development. Partnering with families includes the ability to convey just how important their perspective is in Birth to 3. We partner with families through our positive dispositions and the way in which we convey our respect and trustworthiness. The family assessment opens the door to the recognition of this mission as a first vital step and is supported by the key principles that we will walk through together during the remainder of this training. The first key principle of West Virginia Birth to 3 states that infants and toddlers learn best through trusting relationships and through their participation in everyday experiences. This is supported in the research, which indicates that infants and toddlers have the ability to develop secure attachments, which are an integral piece of their development, through their consistent engagement with those who are closest to them. Additionally, these consistent relationships are the interactions that most heavily impact a child's social, moral, cognitive, and linguistic development. Those everyday experiences of the family are the routine activities that serve to provide opportunities to target development in each developmental domain. When services utilize these everyday experiences of the family as a basis for intervention to occur, we're actually increasing the opportunities of a family to provide additional developmental experiences for their child within their. So how does this first key principle fit with the family assessment? The family assessment provides us with the information that's necessary to dive deep into the family situation. Who are the trusted people in the child's life? The family's experience in their everyday activities, along with the strengths and needs of the child from the family's perspective. Essentially, the family assessment is gathering the pertinent information that allows us to understand the family's important relationships and experiences throughout their days, so that we can begin to target this research-based understanding indicated in this first key principle of West Virginia Birth to Three. The importance of this information cannot be stressed enough, so gathering this information requires intentionality, so that we can use this information as we proceed to the IFSP and identify those meaningful outcomes that are family-specific for the individuals and experiences that are common to the child. The second key principle of West Virginia Birth to Three states that all families with responsive and individualized supports and resources can enhance their child's learning and development. This is the principle that states that given the proper supports, every family has the capacity to build upon their own strengths or strengthen their capacity to assist in progressing their child's development. This is supported in the research, especially through concepts like Vygotsky's scaffolding, which indicates that supports are tailored to the zone that's necessary to maintain engagement without going too far outside a family's comfort zone, by using just enough support to create confidence and competence. Additionally, when parents are included within services, their motivation and investment in the intervention is increased. As their investment and motivation is increased, carryover of service delivery is carried throughout the week, meaning that the work that is done in early intervention home visits is essentially becoming a part of the child's life. Thus, the child is receiving more opportunities for development to occur and strengthening the family in their support. What this means for us in the family assessment is that we're identifying where the family is at in their supports to their child. More specifically, the family assessment is a tool that allows us to ask the family specifically, what are your biggest concerns? What worries you? What do you find challenging? The family assessment provides the building blocks to really understanding where the family is at, so that then we can begin to build meaningful outcomes and tailor the intervention to be within that zone that challenges the family just enough to build confidence, competence, and motivation, but not too much that it becomes overwhelming. We have to know the family, what they're currently capable of, and we get a firm picture of this through our ability to understand their current experiences. The family assessment allows us to get to know the family on this level through the experiences that they describe. The third key principle of the mission and key principles of West Virginia Birth to Three includes the identification that the primary role of the service coordinator is to partner with and coach family members and caregivers in meeting the child's needs. As we begin to build partnerships with families, we offer more opportunities for parents to progress their child's development through our support and use of the information in the development of the IFSP. We do this through joining with and coaching parents, which can in turn decrease the use of play-only sessions and stress level in caregivers. Through coaching, we also find that we serve to increase the family's empowerment, self-efficacy, and ability to independently problem solve. So how does this relate to the family assessment? We know that when families know that their participation is vital to the process, the chances are more likely that they will participate. The family assessment is the tool that sets the stage for families' expectation of early intervention service delivery. The focus on inviting the family to participate through conversation shows the family that their perspective is vital to this process, that we need them in order for early intervention services to be effective. West Virginia Birth to 3 key principle number 4 states that the early intervention process reflects the preferences, learning styles, cultural beliefs, and changing needs of each child and family. Research supports that as the landscapes of the family systems are changing, respect from the practitioners in early intervention may reduce feelings of judgment that may impede the delivery of services and the family's acceptance of these services. Additionally, research has shown that when families feel respected, there is an increase in the feelings of empowerment. So how does this pertain to the family assessment process? Through the initial visit with the family, as we offer respect and our positive dispositions with families, we increase the potential that they'll become open to the services that are offered and participate in them. As the initial face of West Virginia Birth to 3, the family assessment sets the stage for us to show families unconditional respect and provide them with feelings of support surrounding the West Virginia Birth to 3 system. Our first impressions go a long way. The fifth key principle in West Virginia Birth to 3 states that the needs and priorities of children and families are the basis of functional and measurable individualized family service plan outcomes. This slide offers us an opportunity to view the needs and priorities of the family as paramount in the creation of meaningful, measurable, and functional IFSP outcomes. What we know of creating meaningful outcomes for the family from the research is that they promote the family's participation in and carryover of services during those non-intervention hours or the time when practitioners are not directly in the home. Additionally, the progress is bolstered because meaningful outcomes focus on functionality. When we target those things that a family desires, we are essentially meeting the family's needs, which in turn makes the outcomes more desirable to work toward. From the family assessment perspective, this might be one of the most important elements in the process. This allows us to gather the information that will assist us in creating those meaningful outcomes. The family assessment will be about asking the questions that are going to allow for the information pertaining to those meaningful outcomes to be created. We ask those specific questions that are going to target what the family would like help on, their challenges, and their worries for their child. Essentially, these will become the building blocks for creating those meaningful outcomes that will target exactly what they're viewing as important for their child within their family. And through this identification, we will have the opportunity to create meaningful outcomes that can resonate deeply with a family. The sixth key principle of West Virginia Birth to 3 states that teams communicate and collaborate effectively to meet the changing needs of the child and family. Again, knowing that the family systems are changing, by releasing the potential for judgment, we allow for effective communication to occur. Within this training series, dispositions and conversational interviewing techniques will be covered in greater detail. However, a fine rule of thumb for this principle includes that when we're able to listen to families, truly listen to what they're conveying in their desires and needs for their child, we have the potential to increase the satisfaction with services, while increasing the potential that they will be carried over during the hours that are not practitioner-led, because our outcomes will have been meaningful to that specific. What this means for the family assessment is that we have to truly listen to hear what a family is saying that they need for themselves and their child. Sometimes our listening skills have the potential to open up for the creation of meaningful family outcomes in addition to the child outcomes. For example, it may seem frustrating to have a parent keep bringing the conversation back to themselves and their frustrating experiences with others staring at their child in the grocery store. Instead of becoming frustrated in this situation, we might see this as a potential opportunity to identify support resources for the family to feel supported in their child's needs, such as support groups or parent opportunities in West Virginia Birth to 3. Once we're able to identify and hear this as a potential outcome, we might find it less frustrating and more indicative of the family's true needs. Additionally, through the family assessment, we're listening to the family's story of their child. So this may include stories about their difficulties in meal times. As we're communicating through our questions, we're also listening for what a family is conveying is most important to them. And this may come through clearly, such as, I want to be able to take her to the park and have her walk up the stairs and slide with my help, but not having to carry her. But it also may need to be a gently guided process, such as a mom saying, I really want to take her to the park, which then, in turn, you ask, so what would this look like to you? What kinds of play equipment would you like to see her play on? Can you tell me more about this? What does it look like now? How could this become a better experience for you and your child? As you start to guide the questioning in a way that's conversational and holds your intention to discover what is truly important to this family and why, you begin to open the door to the creation of meaningful outcomes that can be used in the IFSP process. And finally, the 7th key principle states that approaches to support children and families are founded on evidence-based practices, the best available research, and relevant laws and regulations. In terms of evidence and research, as you can see through the slides that we've covered, the principles are grounded in the research and support that infants and toddlers learn best through those meaningful moments with those that are closest to them. We must learn who those important individuals to the family are, in addition to the current family situation, in order to move early intervention services through this evidence-based process. We must also listen to the true desires of the family in order to understand what are those meaningful moments to them and how we as an organization are able to support them in these moments, which can then be used to create powerful IFSP goals that will support the child's learning and development through the family's everyday experiences. This is supported through the laws and regulations pertaining to the family assessment process outlined in the DEC and NAEYC developmentally appropriate practices. If you aren't familiar with these documents, you will find the links available in the sections below. These documents guide the process of the family assessment and assist with planning of IFSP outcomes so that they can truly become functional and meaningful to the family. Through the family assessment, we will invite the family to share their concerns, priorities, and resources related to supporting their child's development. Additionally, we discover the family's everyday activities and how their child is engaging in these moments. This is a voluntary process and one that requires dedication to conveying to the family that West Virginia Birth to 3 is an organization built upon support, acceptance, respect, and care for families. We provide this through our positive dispositions and conversational tones during the family assessment. The family assessment also allows for the collection of information around the family's story. This allows for the understanding of the family's supports and strengths that are already in place, but also allows for an understanding in how the family can be further supported in accomplishing their goals for their child. The most important factor in gathering information during the family assessment is the relationship that's built with the family. This is a crucial first impression that will set the foundation for the family's involvement with West Virginia Birth to 3 services. We want to convey to the family a feeling of trust and respect, showing them that their input and partnership is not only welcome, but absolutely necessary for this process. Therefore, A family's clear understanding of why they are sharing this information is necessary and provided by the interim service coordinator. The family assessment has the potential to set the stage for success in West Virginia Birth to 3 by gathering information that's vital and meaningful to the service delivery, but also that builds a positive relationship with the family to assure respect and trust. We hope that this overview of the West Virginia Birth to 3 Mission and Key Principles training for the family assessment has allowed you to think deeper into the mission of our work and why this mission starts with the initial gathering of information through the family assessment. Evidence and research support the mission and key principles outlined in West Virginia, and our work includes the ability to understand this critical information surrounding a family in order to provide them with the evidence-based support. Our evidence base for this population is really found in the understanding that infants and toddlers are best supported through those individuals that are consistent in their lives and through the activities that are meaningful and occur frequently for the family. As stated in the first slide of this training, the mission of West Virginia Birth to 3 is to partner with families and caregivers to build upon their strengths by offering coordination, supports, and resources to enhance their child's learning and development. We hope that this training has allowed you to discover or think more deeply upon your mission in the family assessment process. Thank you so much for your time and your dedication to the families of infants and toddlers in West Virginia.